we just talk? Can we just talk? Talk about everything before we get
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into my channel. It's your girl Nesha here, back in the cut once again. Today, we're going to talk about the girls' cruise, and we're going to go over the highlights, okay? So this is episode 3. So we start the episode off with Maya on the phone talking to her manager, and she's basically telling him about how she had to do that impromptu performance that Rome asked her to do when they were at that little carnival or whatever. And then we talk about Tiffany and this whole name situation and how she doesn't feel like she did anything wrong. She says, you know what, I felt like since it's the queen, I wanted her to introduce her friend, and that's why she gave the mic to Lil Kim. Here's the thing, I feel like Maya should use her better judgment when it came to this situation, because if she puts herself in Tiffany's shoes, how would you feel? Everybody else is being, shouted out or whatever. Then you get over to you and she doesn't say anything to you. She passed the mic over to Lil Kim. Now, had Lil Kim been a part of that whole situation, it would have been different because Kim could have vouched for you and said, no, I knew that she wanted to do that and I was okay with that. Or Kim could have said, I don't think that's a good idea because you're going to single this girl out and she's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. So why don't you just keep with the role, go ahead and keep doing what you're doing. And of course, the manager is siding with her because he doesn't know what really went down and how embarrassing it was for Tiffany, because it just makes you feel like, what's your issue with me? Are you throwing shade at me? Do you not like me? Did you really forget my name? Then we go over to Rome. He's really into Chilli, so he's talking to the guys, trying to figure out what it is that he needs to do in order to get Chilli up under his arm, okay? And so they're saying, look, take the breakfast over to her room. So he follows their advice. He does it. Chilli was not prepared for it because when he walks in, Chilli's looking like, okay, hi, how are you? Brings the fruit, and then she's sitting there, okay, like, what's up? Because you still sitting there. You ain't left yet. And so then he was like, well, I'm just trying to say maybe we should, have a little lunch date. She's like, lunch date? What are we going to talk about? He's like, well, no, something private where it's just you and I. We could just sit down. Fast forward. She agrees to do it, right? So then she talks to her son, Tron, I guess to get his blessings. He says, yes, Mom, go ahead, go for it. She says, it's a little bit awkward having dated in 8 months, but whatever. They have the little dinner date or whatever. It's even more cringy than the first time when he came and actually asked her out. They're talking about how he's been into her since the very first time that he saw her. She was like, okay, that's cool. Well, she's more in, she says she likes him, but not on that, they don't have that type of connection yet. Well, let me ask you this question. Do you stay in Trinidad or are you in the States? He says, I stay in Trinidad. Well, let's say hypothetically we are to try to make this work. How is that going to happen if you're in Trinidad and I'm in the States? Then he starts saying about how I guess he's leaning more towards marrying the woman that he's going to be with. So when he said that, I'm like, well, what are your plans? Do you want to marry her and move her to Trinidad, or do you want her to move, or you want to move to the States with her? Like, what are your plans, Rome? Did you think this through before you came over there with a pretty smile and a glass of coconut water? I'm just trying to figure out what your whole plans are. What are your motives, sir? So moving on from that, Maya and Pretty V have a good heart-to-heart conversation. We talk about how Maya used to be bullied when she was younger, about her braces, about her clothing because she didn't have name brand clothing. Her parents were poor. Have her singing and rehearsing and stuff like that and pulling her out of classes. And then she says that's why she didn't develop the relationships with girls like she should have, because at home she had a bunch of boys, and then when you come to school, I'm only there doing my schoolwork and then I'm off to go do a lot of rehearsals. So I didn't get a chance to build relationships, good strong relationships with girls, or even be able to just know how to act around them, because I'm a little rough around the edges when it comes to females. Kim goes to meet with Tobias, who I believe is preparing dinner for all the ladies, and she's like, what's going on? You need to teach me how to cook. But his energy seems a little off. So she's like, well, is there anything wrong with you? Is there something you need to talk about? And he says, well, I'm glad you realized that, something was going on with me, because that means a lot. But my brother, he recently got out of jail. I'm really emotional about that. She's like, well, how long was he in there? He said, well, he was in there for about 9.5, 10 years. So it's a long time with me not seeing my brother. Kim can relate because she went to jail for a year and a day. Kim said they tried to put me in some sort of, I guess a tank, a room or something. I don't know, child. But she was like, look, I told them people I wanted to be in general population, and that is where I found majority of my good friends that I still talk to today. She said it took me going through that situation to know who was there for me and who wasn't. I was so loyal to so many people that didn't give a F about me, and I didn't find out until that situation happened. And so I'm loyal to a fault, and that's one thing that she was able to correct once she got out. Y'all, my nephew is like that. He is loyal. He has gotten himself in so many different situations, unfortunate ones, because he's trying to be there for the person or have their back, or he's in the wrong place with the person that got the beef, and so he ends up intertwining all that mess. So he appreciates her for hearing him out and also recognizing that was a problem in the first place, because y'all know some people, if it ain't them, they really don't even care what you going through. Last but not least, they have a little dinner with all of the ladies there. Kim and Tiffany come last, but they're sitting there. We start talking about this whole name situation again. B. Simone and Pretty V brought it up. Maya is a little bit frustrated because she just wants it to be over now. I get it. I understand. Why do we got to keep talking about this? They're forgetting that Charlie is sitting there. So as they're saying Tiffany and all that type of stuff, Charlie is there. So why are y'all trying to make it a big deal? Like, why are y'all being messy? Why are y'all making it uncomfortable? Because anything that Maya says could be taken back to Tiffany by Charlie, because they are best friends. Tiffany comes with a hat that says, hi, my name is Tiffany, as a reminder to Maya, because I know you forgot my name. They start having a conversation about how awkward it was. Lil Kim was a little bit pissed off because she feels like Maya needs to just admit that you forgot her name. Maya was like, nope, I didn't forget her name. I wanted it to be a special moment. I wanted you to say it. Then Kim was like, well, by that logic, why didn't you let me introduce Charlie as well? He's my best friend. Well, she's the girl. What the hell is that supposed to mean, Maya? And Kim gets upset. She gets up. She walks off because she's tired of the fakeness. Quite frankly, I was too. I was like, Maya, you know good and well you forgot her name. Either that or you was petty and you're trying to cover this stuff up. But either way it goes, just admit or just agree to disagree and just move on. Why are we still talking about the dang name? So she walks off. Tiffany and Charlie go behind her. They're talking. Maya comes up, asks for forgiveness. They decide to do a prank. They want to keep bringing up this whole name situation. We gonna prank them. So they go to the table acting like they arguing. Maya says, I'm from DC. Kim says, I'm from Bronx. And they just going at each other's neck. Then they bust out laughing. And everybody like, what's up? Because I was about to jump in. And Chilli's like, I got these guns. I was about to put to work. You know what I mean? Don't play with me. And that's pretty much how the show ended, y'all. Get into the comments. Let me know what you think. And until next time.
Yeah, low key, maybe high key. I been peeped that you like.